Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We are here with Alliance War Season 30, Number 4, where ISO8A is taking on BAMB. So if you guys know of BAMB, the reason you might know of them, or the reason most people know of them, is because they were actually the Alliance that was beating Palo until a Palo member logged into the account of a member in BAMB, made him die 3 times to give them the Alliance War lead. So, obviously Palo got docked for this, because you can't do that. But BAMB, we know that based on their performance in that war, that they can put up a fight. Like, they can put up a good fight. Also, I'm going to turn my face cam off, just because it's a war video. But this is actually my first time using Moleman in war. Like, I just ranked him up last level event. And this war, I would just finished like early this morning. And we have the team of Apocalypse, Quake, and Moleman. Very weird team. And first up, we are actually on Path 5, Section 1, and Section 2. But right there at the start of this fight, this is M.O.D.O.K versus Jabari Panther. It's a rank 3-6 star, just unduped. And we actually land a stand-up intercept. And I did that just because I didn't really want to bother with the parry. I did have a White Mags pre-fight, but I was pretty confident, and also he's Apocalypse. He's got an insane health pool. Right here, I landed my parry, so I did that. Now I'm just waiting for a dash to use my special 2. There we go, and I do have mutant boosts on here, even though I believe this is a box only fight. And then here we just throw another special 2 because she's so close. But she does not quite die, so I was just going to throw this L1 into her block because I would have killed it anyways. But whatever, it's completely fine. So, yeah, pretty clean fight there. Thank you to Ken, who actually followed me on my path and gave me a White Mags pre-fight for that fight. Very doable without, but it's much safer. Now I have 2 back-to-back Quake fights, my only 2 Quake fights, so I'm going to speed them up, double speed. This is a very easy fight. This is a Manthing on the second node, and the first node on this path actually has Force of Will, so you cannot permanently remove the protection. Sorry, it's not technically permanent, because if you intercept while you don't have a concussion up, then you'll get the Fury, and then at the end of the timer, the protection will come back. So it's not technically permanently gone, but it is semi-permanently gone. It's probably the best way to do it. Say it, because you would have to intentionally intercept while you didn't have a concussion in order to bring the protection back. Or sorry, you'd have it to intentionally knock him down while he had while he didn't have a concussion. So you'd have to get to your special one. Sorry, I was thinking of Path Section 2. And anyways, that fight was super easy with Quake. I'm running half suicides here just because I'm not too worried about the health. Also, I know that in this fight right here, I'll be regenerating a lot of health from the armor break. So this is a rank 3 6-star Kingpin. Originally, I think he actually had like a 2-team slot just for this one fight. Because my Alliance War officer actually didn't know that I could Quake. I kind of laughed when I heard that he didn't know. Because Quake's like literally my main champion I use in war. Not super recently, but like in general. In my one season, for example, with D69 when I went 120 and 1, she took like 80 of the 120 fights that season. Like between her magic and Warlock, that was like over 100 of the 120, probably well over 100. But yeah, the tricky thing with this one is that normally when you're fighting Kingpin with Quake, you can actually prevent him from shrugging off your stun with your concussion. But this node has Force of Will, so you actually can't do that. But the fight goes absolutely perfectly. I'm extremely happy with how it went. That last stun stick, so I just throw my heavy. I end with full yellow bar. So that's awesome. Now we will get into the Mole God fights. So I have my last 4 fights are all with Moleman, 2 mini bosses and 2 path fights. This first fight is insane. just the power of Moleman. And I believe I use an invulnerability boost. Yeah, probably would have been better to use... yeah, I probably shouldn't have used invulnerability here, but that's completely fine. Probably should have used like a regen boost or something. So right here we're gonna parry heavy, and we are running suicides, full suicides here. And just look at how fast this guy melts. Like, these are guaranteed crits because I'm in frenzy. We hit a clean intercept here, and yeah, he is dead in like 18 seconds. And I missed the first parry, so that would have been a whole second and a bit less. So yeah, beautiful first fight with Moleman. Now we are on to our second fight on the path, which is going to be Airwalker, and I debated taking it with Apocalypse, but the issue is your specials won't really do much damage because Mighty Charge just removes your debuffs. You do have to land reparries in this fight with Moleman to get into your frenzy. So there you go. And that block while you're unstoppable, it does actually count as a regular intercept, so it's really nice. Here he does now too. Since I am in frenzy, I will not be charging off the debuff, so I'll be taking, as you see, a little degen damage there. Deal. Here we're gonna hit an intercept. No, instead we're gonna take hits to the face. Here we're gonna hit an intercept, which did not remove the protection. And then I threw a heavy. I threw a medium and then a light, and I threw my special 2 before the light landed. So that was fun. So here. Nope, still not going to get an intercept, but I am shutting off all those debuffs. There we hit an intercept. Now we're just going to get our openings. He's almost dead, and then I believe I just throw this one else. Yeah. Here we go. Not a great fight, not perfect, but we end with 94% health, so I'm pretty happy with that. And 5% of that was all from that recoil. So there you go. Now we go into a fight that, to be honest, I was not even remotely worried for. I was like, yeah, I've seen this fight done 100 times. I know how to do it with Moleman. And then the fight happens, and I'm like, yeah. So this is a fight. So I use an invulnerability boost. And there's one key detail about this fight that I think I overlooked. And that is the fact that inflicting shock fuels high ground. And I knew that some debuffs did this, I just did not know that shock was one of them. I had absolutely no idea. So here, we start off great. I was actually trying to dex there, but in my swipe back, I parry backs in, and look, it happens again. I was trying to dex back, and it activated parry twice. And I don't really know what I can do about that. But yeah, a little bit of a mistake here. And then right there for the L1. And this mistake is pretty much what seals the fight. Yeah, I just can't control high ground. And I need to block to get my openings. It's not nice. Right there, we get a nice L1 evade. But that shock is just so long. Look at how fast his timer is. It's insane. Here, I just tried to block it, and it went right through my block. I swear I didn't move. He just broke through my block with L1, so I land a nice L2. And I'm like, okay, we're doing alright. And then I eat another L1, and then I eat some more high ground damage, and I'm like, okay, I'm probably dead. There, I thought I was at an L2. I did not throw that L1 on accident, and then right there again, I was blocking, he broke my block. So yeah, very unfortunate. Massively misplayed by me. I should not have thrown that one special one because that actually was on purpose. But the second time, it was a complete accident. I thought I would be at a special 2 by that point from the polka dot power. And then the fact that I did those 2 parries while trying to dex, like that's just so unlucky. That maybe happens 1 in every 100 fights, and it happened twice in one fight. That got rid of my vulnerability boost, which would not have helped with the high ground damage, but still, I probably would have survived that fight. So I do actually have another fight after all this, so I have to go in and finish with Moleman. And this one actually goes like picture perfect. I get all my L1 evades. I barely even take high ground damage. And I just hate high ground so much. I think it's just a garbage global. It's so lazy. I really dislike it. I honestly prefer stubborn, protect, like anything that they've had recently. I prefer it to high ground because high ground is just bullshit damage that you can do absolutely nothing about 95% of the time. All right, let's get into our next fight. This is going to be Spidergwen on the Limber Brute Force, enhanced ability accuracy on evade and auto block node, and also power gain. And I know that I can land like 1 or 2 parries safely, so right there I parry heavy attack to build up my frenzy, to activate frenzy. And from here it's pretty much just like a nice fight. I hit a beautiful intercept there while he has a bar of power, or she has a bar of power rather. And I did actually max deep wounds for this fight. Sorry, for these fights. Like I maxed it right before I started doing this fight. And Moleman just does so much damage. Like, I've been saying forever, like literally forever. As soon as Kingpin got buffed, there was the argument of Kingpin versus Moleman. I have always been saying that Moleman is just way better. And, like, now that I actually have him, I believe even stronger that Moleman is just considerably better of a champion. Like, he's just much better. And yeah, so I pick up the second death on the season. I didn't show the results, but we won this war with a score of 18-6. So not an amazing war by us, partly due to my ridiculous mistakes. Yeah, just a gross fight, a horrible fight, and I have nothing to say other than I sucked in that fight. I was horrible. And I know that if I ever get that fight assigned again, I will not even come close to dying. It will go much better. I know it. But unfortunately, that time just didn't work out. Luckily, it was in a war that was not close whatsoever. We just absolutely wrecked them. I think my defense got 1 or 2 kills as well. But our war record is now 2-2. Our death total is at 2. Our PSR is 18 out of 20, so 90%, and our deathless streak is at 1, just that Spidergwen. So, now that my death total is at 2 after 4 wars, it has me very worried that I'm going to break my streak, because if you look back and you watch my war videos, I have not died more than twice in a season since season 22. It has been 9 seasons since I've died more than twice. So in every single season since season 23, I've either had 0, 1, or 2 deaths total the whole season. And this is just the worst start I can imagine. Now, the first death, I'm not gonna, like, obviously I had a chance to win it, but it was a horrible, horrible matchup that Ghost should never have been in that fight. So that is partially to blame for my death, but it was still very doable, so I cannot say that it was not my fault, obviously. And then this death, I genuinely had the best counter to the fight in the entire game. Like, Moleman is the best counter to that fight, and I just sucked so bad. So I deserve the death I have so far. I just need to pick it up, stop playing like absolute dog shit, and yeah, continue on with my season. So in order for me to not break my streak and die 3+ times in the season this season, I have to go 8 more wars without dying, which I will do. So yeah, that's going to be it, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.